Hey guys, that could be a start to a really bad day. It wasn't that bad. I was actually redoing the shop, and a lot of people on Facebook and around the HTM Discord have already seen that picture. Those of you who have not, let me explain. I was redoing the shop and put a whole bunch of models, put more models up there than had been on those two shelves that were above the those windows. 6:30 in the morning on Wednesday, I walked in and that was what I saw. It took me about 30 seconds to figure out that the shelves had come down. I thought I'd just for giggles start the screen with that, or start the stream with that. And those of you that have were on the Sunday stream will have seen that the shop is a lot cleaner than it's ever been. Things are much more functional. I mean, I like it. I did a huge amount of work. We were going to throw a couple of dressers away. Instead, we brought them down here into the shop, and that gave me a phenomenal amount of storage. Plus, I brought a bunch of models up to the stash, and you can see behind me, not all of them, but the most active in-work models are right there. So that shelf will probably never get empty, but as I do finish things, things will come off that shelf to be finished. What else was I going to say? Hey, Eric. And there we go. That's what I was going to do. I was going to say, let's run through the chat. About 8 minutes ago, Gilly said, hurry and start. I didn't see it right away, and so I said 3 minutes. Todd on the another channel said first, and I said, no, you're first on the HTM channel, but he wasn't on watching, or he didn't chat on my channel. And he said he does the same thing I do, stalker. He's on both. Nice. I actually said that. We found out he's not a moderator on the HTM channel. He used to be. Oh, you're talking my HTM channel, aren't you, Todd? I need to make you a moderator. And I can't spell. And I said they didn't hire me for my typing. Gilly said, laughed out loud. Eric showed up. And so that is the stream or the chat all caught up. So like I said, you can see around me that things are a lot cleaner in the shop. It's a lot brighter. There's no strobing. For some reason, the Logitech cameras. Oh, you are a mod on mine. Yeah, you are. I don't know. How is this possible, Eric? But you can see right here one of them. One of the things I've done is I've changed my lights. I've got some shop lights that make the Logitech cameras strobe. These do not. I guess because there's, like right now, I've got 210 LEDs going over top of me. I don't think I think I read it. I don't think I showed that there. But I've got like 210 LEDs going over top of me. Actually, I got an extra one on that I didn't realize. Give me a second. They all have little remotes. Each one of them has a remote per light. Unfortunately, they're not. The color coding means nothing. So I was hoping to be able to set them up to where I hit one button, they all come on. Someone told me there's an old bus being here. Yes, there is. Welcome, Dave. I watch your channel all the time, and I love the builds you're doing. I really do. Eric with his little devil ears, and he says, not a clue. He's been... Todd just fired him. Yes, the Routemaster Pro is here. I think, Dave, you've got what? I want to say I've heard you say on your channel you've built 8 of these things total. So, yes, you are the pro. So let me get down to business. Let me go ahead and flip over to my other camera. And pardon me if I put the wrong cameras on because I now have 5 cameras set up. That's the one I wanted. And so I've been paused, and I realized later, or I realized that well after I had posted the stream, that I put August on the description instead of October. And that's because August was the last time I was able to do anything on the Routemaster. What happened, and I showed this on the stream, the last stream of the Routemaster. And what had happened was I got to put this apart, or put this together, and this part right here, you can see it. Actually, let me go to the other camera because it focuses better. So let me move the oil. And you can see it right there sitting in the shot. It was broken right here when I got it. And I know Agora, I've dealt with them enough that I knew that they would send me parts. And they did. They sent me parts right away. But shipping from the UK to the States takes a little bit of time. I wasn't that concerned. You know, I expected it to take 3 weeks to a month for the replacement parts to come. I went ahead and put all the parts in because I knew they'd send me the entire pack, not just this part. And unfortunately, when they sent me the pack, and you can see right there, something's not right, because this indent here is supposed to be where that window's at. So when I took that out, when I took the part out, you could see not only was it broken here, but it was also broken here, and it was severely bent. So I took pictures and sent them to them immediately and said, hey, I got another broken one. And they asked me some questions. What had happened? You know, was the box damaged? You know, general questions saying, let's see if we can solve your problem. And so, and this is the bag that the rest of this part came in. This sticky was on the outside. First thing I want to do is show you the sticky, because the bag was opened and then taped closed. And it says right there, unsealed for quality check only. That was fantastic. And you can see when I lift it up, the brace on the plastic is where it's supposed to be. And this part is in good shape and not broken. I do have to say that I don't think it's by design, but I do know, just based on looking at this is very fragile right here. If by chance it should snap while I'm working on it, I'm not going to ask him for another one because I see how fragile it is. But I really, really, really appreciate Agora for replacing those really without any argument whatsoever. Almost forgot laying my beautifully painted parts on the bench, and I don't do that. Almost forgot to get out the towel. So Dave said I built 3, building another 2, then rebuilding 2. Well, 4 of them repainted eventually. I know. I've seen. You have so many videos on these. I actually had to. I decided that I'm only going to watch the straight up, basically out of box build, because I could spend my entire day watching your videos, and I do. I watch them for the most part from start to finish because I really like what you're doing on them. So let me make sure, and you guys will hear occasionally Discord keeps sounding off in the background. Okay, so let me open up that, and that is stage 40. And I did this before, but I'm going to do it again. Yeah, it will. And that's actually happening tonight. This will get mounted to the floor. And then in step 41, I believe it is, it gets mounted to the, it'll get mounted to the chassis, which lives in the shop now. It's over behind me on my right shoulder. It is no longer relegated to the garage, which is what I had to do when I reorganized the shop, because I had to get, I made a lot of space in here. So let me see if I, yeah, I think that's small enough. Go back. You got the cabin frame, 40B, and that's in here. Let me go ahead and open that up. And if I'm a little rusty on the bus, it's because it's been 2 months. Not a problem at all. I don't even remember who mentioned that you were building the bus, and I went and found your streams, and I actually watched your build from start to finish at this point. Okay, so you got this handle. I've got to remember where my camera is. The license holder, if I remember right, yes, the license holder, and I don't think either of my cameras is going to focus well enough, but that is actually very detailed. There's writing in there, and it's too small for me to read, but it is readable. Side light holder, that right there. The lens for that light. Oh, sorry, that's license holder, side light, lens, and then the reflector, or those last two. This is the heating line. It is plastic. And I watched Dave very many times take this off because, you know, while he's working on his cab, just because he doesn't want to break it. Got some water pipe pieces here. This really, really tiny one here is a relief pipe. I think it's like a pressure relief valve, you know, if you have an overflow on the radiator. And then the rest of it is screws. Let me get the right boxes for them. And we have AM, JM, and NN. I hope anybody who is new to the channel, I always put away the screws first. Why I keep them all through the end of the build, I couldn't tell you. I'm not throwing them away when I get done. I'm emptying them out of the boxes. I know Todd keeps them and has stolen screws to other builds that he needed, you know, because was missing a screw from another build, so he moved or borrowed screws from that were left over from other models. I haven't had to do that yet. I don't think I will, but I just put them all in the same container. What I'm thinking eventually is that with some blue tack, these are going to become weight in aircraft models. Okay, so those are all the parts. First thing, working from inside, put the lens, and I remember the lens has, you can probably see it in here better, maybe. There is a keyway, and it doesn't like focusing on red. You know what? Like I said, the camera on the side is the better camera, which is funny because the camera on the side is 920 versus 922, but it focuses better. One of the dogs just poked his head in. So let me see. I need to figure out where the... I do not have a light handy there. But there's a keyway in this hole here for the lens. So you put, yeah, their lens will only fit well one way. You might be able to see it better on the lens. I have to rethink this because the camera is not, there's no light shining down where the camera's at. My hand's causing a shadow. Hang on. That's the part of the problem. That should work a little bit better. Bring that. I had the center camera. It's a little bit high. You can just, at least I can just barely see the notch right there. Nearly 3,000 screws in the build. That is awesome. There's the keyway for it, and I remember. Give me just a second, guys. I'm going to turn off my mic. Sorry, guys. That was my wife. She just now coming home. She forgot I stream at 5. Used to stream at 6, but so that like Dave showed up, so folks from the UK can make it, I started going a little bit earlier. Okay, so that is in there. Of course, I've got it turned to where you guys can't see it. This lens holder will go in just like that, and it takes 2 AM screws. And I use a multitude of screwdrivers. I may actually get out of the, may actually finally get these out again. Come on. I'm not even on the hole. That should do it. And that's not the screwdriver for that. It's too pointy. I do believe this is actually the one that came with the build. And I do actually continue using the one that came with the build. Why? I don't know. Hey, Blue Streak. Welcome. And I am doing fantastic. Finally got the, or actually Mark, finally got the parts for the Routemaster so I can press on with it. The shop is completely done. You missed the shocker photo at the beginning where but I think you've seen it on Facebook, the one where the shelf had fallen. The great shelf collapse of 2022, as I'm calling it. So that's that. Wait, you're back, Eric? What'd you do, run away? Hang on, let me switch to the other camera. I need to redo some lights a little bit because that camera is not getting a good amount of light to it. So you can see that is in where it's supposed to be. Lens is in perfect. And of course it's 922. It does suck that happened, but the, oh wait. I have missed these Monday streams. I have too. Only missed a couple of them. You know, and I have been doing the Black Pearl instead. That's now gone to the Friday and Sundays. And one come down too. Eric's, I have TV on the HTM channel and I have my phone on your channel. That's awesome. Getting views on both. So NM screw to put the license on. Why am I trying to grab these little screws with my finger? Use the magnets. And the NM, and that is, it's not going to focus, unfortunately. That is the license that goes in the window. I'm trying to remember where it goes. I just looked. Oh, it goes up the back of the window. And you can see here, almost see. Definitely got to rearrange the cameras. There's two holes here. The license is going to, the colored discs are going to point to the outside. There's a screw hole and a pin. Pin will go into one hole. Screw will go into the other. If I can get it to fit. Fortunately, with having gotten two of the cab frames, there we go. If something goes south, I have spare parts for this on this one issue. Okay, that's tightened down. Now you can see it's in place. And I don't have my white envelope anymore. Hey, Thomas, welcome. Thomas is one of our newer members at Hobby Time Modelers. He joined over the weekend. Let me get this, the overflow tube here. This is going to push into the curved pipe right here on the side where it's got the pin down here. Just pushes in like that. I'm being very careful with these parts because they are very small and delicate. So that's gonna, you know what? I'm getting irritated by that camera not focusing. So we're gonna change things up. That way you guys can actually see what I'm doing. And you can see my fat belly. Come on, focus. Now it's going to make a liar out of me. Oh, you can see that it is actually, there we go. Inserted in there. It actually is sticking out just a hair. And this one is going to go on here. This pipe here, where it's on there like that. Let's see, let me catch up with chat real quick. All Thomas has left on his 1970.5 Camaro is license plate. Be doing videos soon. Cool. Still waiting on the mail today. Got like 4 or 5 cards in the mail. Very cool, Thomas. Very short video, only recording 2 plates. I'm thinking he'll probably record a little bit more than that, but that is what he said. So this is going to slide on here just like that. And it doesn't need glue. It is a very snug fit. And the end here is going to slide onto this tab right there where the pipe splits. Just looking the way it goes. Oh, no wonder it looks wrong, because I'm holding it the opposite direction of the picture. It's going to slide on here just like this. Actually, I think that comes out off the other side. Not 100% positive that's right, but this is the way I've got it on the one I built before. Now, see, a smart person would just pull these parts off the other one because it's already done. But nobody ever said I was smart. And then this, there are pins, 2 pins here, 1 pin here, 1 pin here. That is going to go into these holes here and here. And I'm going to leave it up like that. Once it goes onto the bus itself, onto the chassis, it should be able to just rotate down without any problems. And then the grab handle for the driver's door. There are 3 holes. One in the middle is a pinhole. The top and the bottom are for the screws. And I've got it on there backwards because this little flange in the picture points to the inside, and that is put in with 2 JM screws. Oops. Exactly, Gilly. A smart person would. That leaves me out. This might or might not fit on the screwdriver, because these are tiny, tiny screws. Actually, that's the screwdriver. So these did both come with the Routemaster, or as Dave says, I keep Americanizing it. The correct pronunciation based on the way Dave says it is the Routemaster. And so that is on. And I believe that is actually, that is the end of this stage. I've been stuck there for 2.5 months because I couldn't go any further because I didn't have the parts. And I just looked over, and something I had brought here in the shop, because I got my Mega Bloks out of the box today. I've got a Mega Bloks Enterprise from 50th anniversary of Star Trek. And at the same time, we had gotten some nostalgia pieces. Picked these up on Amazon during the 50th anniversary of Star Trek. They happened to be in that box, and I was like, oh yeah, forgot about these. I am truly a geek. I have all kinds of just miscellaneous stuff like that. Okay. Thanks, Gilly. Appreciate it. So now this is going to entail probably no probably about it, especially because they're right here. I think Todd said something about real men don't wear gloves. I do. Don't have your geek card yet, Eric. No, Eric, you had your geek card. We took it away from you because you've never watched Galaxy Quest. Remember? Where's the scalpel? So we have screws, FM screws, SM screws, and they are red. I'm sitting here thinking the top camera's on. Hang on, let me switch. And what I need to do is set it up like Todd has it to where I just hit a button and it switches the cameras through OBS. And actually, Mark, it's kind of funny because that's not my dog. That's the dogs behind us. So these are the windows. These are the why. Oh, wait. You have surround sound going. Awesome. I didn't read that at first. Yeah, that's the dogs behind us. But these are the windows that go in right now. And that's why I put up the gloves. I don't want to put any fingerprints on them. We got a little bit of lighting. There are 3 lights, 3 LEDs. Socket that's already put together. That's nice. An extension wire. 2 sockets put together. Thought there were 3, is there? Nope, just 2 LEDs. Okay, those are my dogs. CM, TM. And you're not sure if you can tell, but we have little dogs and 1 big dog. Okay, so back to what I was doing. NM screws that are red. I believe this is the hinge. Oh no, the window crank. GM screws. Some more tape pieces. I believe this is one of the bars that goes across the front and the 2 front vents. Following Facebook. Should look at the Instagram as well. I don't have Instagram. And you've got 2 gloves on your hand. See, that's the thing. People who don't want to scar their paint, put the gloves on. So it says take the cabin frame, and the first window is, it says the left window 41A, which is this one right here. Oh, by the way, while cleaning out the shop, all of these that was saving to use for super glue, I got rid of them. So this one is going to go in here like that. It's going to sit in there like that. Just looking at how it is in the picture. Touching the edges is no big deal. And this is where I pull this back off if it will come. That center pin is good and tight in there, so I'm going to leave that and hopefully won't knock it off. So that sits in there like that. It uses 6 SM screws, which those are the red ones. And I don't think, yeah, those are screws that I've not used before. I have spare parts in here. So let me move those out of the way. I have high hopes. I actually have through stage 46 here, and I'm not going to get anywhere near through stage 46, but that's okay. Last Yorkshire Terrier had small dog syndrome, thinking she was a really big dog. She had a heart of a lion. They do. And the little yappy one that you can hear, that's our Pomeranian. And he just, he's 5 pounds or about 8 pounds of fluff and attitude. It wasn't actually his brother, but he had an older brother, much larger brother, because Cody's, like I said, about a 5-pound Pomeranian. Charlie, who we lost in January, he was a 25-pound Pomeranian. And unfortunately, he got congenital heart failure, and so we had to put him down. Unfortunately, we think that Cody might be coming down with it too. And these screws here are the red ones. But until Cody actually shows full-on signs, we're going to let him go. He just has an occasional cough. That was how it started with Charlie. Come on. By the way, Dave, you make this look easy. My biggest concern is I do not want to scratch the window. Come on. What's up?
Just got a question.
Uh-huh.
Do you have like 2 minutes for me, if possible?
Right now?
Yeah, or like in the next couple of minutes.
Let me get these screws in and then I'll...
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I think that one's starting. If you guys... I'm not sure if you heard or not. I'm going to have to take a break here in a few minutes. Okay, that one's in. Let me tighten this one down. And I'm not making them super tight because I do not want to break the acrylic of these windows. As long as it's in place and it's not going anywhere, I'm good. Of course, I don't have, I should ask Todd to make one for me. I do not have the I'll be right back slide yet. Give me a second, Todd. These screws are really, really tiny. So I want to get them at least threaded in so that I don't inadvertently lose any. Gordon, welcome. Yeah, so whip up a be right back one, and sometime throw it on the on StreamYards. So I'm gonna leave these last two here because everybody's already going. Okay, let us step away. Well, you step away. So I'll be right back, guys. I will leave the camera on, but I'm going to mute the mic. Thanks, Todd. Perfect. I don't know what we're paying you, but it's not enough. Okay, yeah, and Andrea just needed some help with the groceries. No, just pour some more glue on it, Gilly. Smear it around until everything is just a dull blur. So back to these screws. And it's kind of a trick getting the screws to there. That one, you could hear it as it scraped, as it dropped through the acrylic of the window. And that's the thing, is getting them to drop into the metal of the cab through the acrylic of the window. I have too. By the way, Gilly, depending on what you're using the mat for, like if you're using it for streaming, just turn it over and use the back. I have scads of mats in here because I've worn them out. This is about the best one. The only reason it's pretty pristine is it used to be under glass. Donnie, what's up? Welcome. So let's see. Let me catch up with the chat again. Gilly upset because he ruined a mat. Todd agreeing with him. Donnie showed up. Time to get the Tamiya bottle holders. Gilly, what you ought to do is look on the Scale Model Graveyard on Facebook. There's a guy who 3D prints them and he actually sells them pretty cheaply. That's where it's up here in the front. I've got a holder for paintbrushes and stuff like that. I think I paid like $25 for it. It's 3D printed and pretty nice. And the guy that does that, he actually prints them to where they can interlock together with different ones of his printouts. Make sure that is snug all the way around. Yeah, Donnie, I did. Matter of fact, I'll show you real quick. Where is it? This one was actually had a note. They opened it. They opened the package just to check and make sure that the cab was not broken. You remember, this is the original one. It was broken right there. And the second one was all kinds of bent wrong. And it was broken here. Whoops. It was broken here and right here. And this would have been really key because there's vents that go on there. I would, except for he's just on Scale Model Graveyard on the weekends. It's a place that I've gotten a lot of models from. Hold the window. You see, it says right in the book, hold the windows by the frames to avoid getting fingerprints on them. So the next one, and I'm going to see if I can get this off again, because this time I've got to turn this thing to the other side. And hopefully, I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but one of our dogs has some itching issues and Tyson is behind me, and it's a kind of not a real nice sound as he's chewing on himself. Okay, so this window is the next one, and it's completely round or rounded edges. Only 3 tries to get a good part at 1,500. Hey, I will tell you right now, Donnie, it is not bad. The fact that they, without hesitation, replaced it. Okay, turn the cabin frame around. So on this one, Jack did that sometimes too. Yeah. You said did. Doesn't he still do it, or has you've gotten that fixed, or hopefully Jack is still around? So you can see the pins on here. This one has no screws. It is simply a push fit. If I can get it to fit in there. These things are cheap, so I'm putting another one on. Only problem is they make my hands sweat. There is a right and a wrong way. Because if I'm not mistaken, I had the window in upside down. The middle, top and bottom was going in. The middle would not go in because it's slightly different than the distance between them. And that is much more better. God, that's clean. I love how clean that glass is. But it's in there, and it's in there perfect. Ah, that's so the thyroid problems. Vet gave you some pills. Tyson has really, really dry skin, and that's his problem. And he's had it all his life. What we give him, excuse me, we occasionally will give him an oatmeal bath, and it will help, and it'll go away for a while, but not for very long. Okay, so next, take the upper front window, which is the larger one. Identify 3 fixing points inside the window and place it in there. So there's 3 spots. Huh. Maybe we should take Tyson in to see a vet. Tyson, it's okay. So these lugs on here, I was thinking they would go the other way, but they actually go towards the inside. So to attach the window. Yeah. And that goes in with CM screws. I didn't put my screws away. Let me double check. 3 black CM screws. Okay. Actually, I'm going to leave those closed for right now, and I'm just going to get 3 of the CM screws I already have. I'm not buying $1,500 parts. It's overall it's a $1,500 model. The thing is, it's one of these things of I actually have 3 of them that I'm receiving right now. I'm getting the Iron Man, I'm getting the Volkswagen Samba T1, and the bus. The bus, when I get the last issue, which is next month, I will probably start getting parts for the Bismarck. And I'll start it 6 months from now or so from now. Because what I like to do with these part works is get enough parts to where I don't have to worry about running out of parts should something go wrong with shipping and everything. And that way I can keep going on. Which is why I have 4 or 5. I want to say it's 3 magazines full, so 12 packs from the Enterprise that I've never opened because the Enterprise went away. Which, if anybody's interested, I'm still selling that thing. I know right now people are kind of worried whether they're actually going to come back out with the Enterprise. I'm hoping. Oh. Todd just stepped away, and Donnie says Donnie said he was buying $1,500 parts. No, actually, Donnie works on $1,500 parts. If you have problems with your Nissan car, it's probably was built by Donnie on a Friday. Sorry, I wasn't supposed to let that out, was I, Donnie? Sorry, man. Those are not quite there. What I'm doing is I'm looking from the side to see how far it's sticking out. What I usually like to do is slide a fingernail up underneath there. Yeah. So that one's in there. No comment. Donnie laughing about the fact that I said if you've got a problem with your Nissan, it's his fault. Okay, so next part that goes on here, half the hinge is on, the other half is molded in here, the other half is not. So we've got one half of the hinge right here. The other half gets bolted on here, allowing this window to go on here. So let me get the window. And you've got the two pins, one here, one here. That's funny how well it focuses on a clear piece. But it's going to go on here like that. Back to the modeling. And I'll tell you what, Thomas, most of us actually, when somebody's streaming, we'll keep modeling. It's just nice to have in the background. Where's the scalpel? So in here is a screw and a handle. And it looks like a little bracket. So the first thing is the hinge here. And if it looks like I'm trying to see around my hand, it is because where the camera's positioned and where the monitor is puts the picture from the camera directly in front of me or directly behind my hand. Absolutely. I love it. And so there's a pin on here. There's two screw holes. This is going to go on one side of or on the other side of the window. If I can get it on there. The pin is going to go in there from the window. And then the pin from the back of the hinge portion is going to fit into the hole on the bus, on the cab. Okay. Like that. There's the hinge I just put on. Now I got to put two of the red screws in. Chatting up the chat. Absolutely. And those were the NM screws, and they're all red. And they're not the smallest ones, but they're pretty small. By the way, you were talking about how this weekend, Todd, if you're back, some of the screws you guys were working on, actually, Cisco was talking about how small they were. And some of these are, I would be willing to bet, are smaller than the ones you guys were dealing with. And so my monitor's right behind me to the right, very hard sometimes, which is, I'm still figuring out the shop because I used to have the monitor in front of me and the one here to my right. If I was looking at one, my back was to the other one. Come on. It's not through paint yet on there. And actually, no, I would not be putting oil on the acrylic parts. I was about to say, Todd forgot to tell me to put oil on my screws. That's what this is right here. I usually put oil on them, but I'm not going to put oil on next to the acrylic windows and stain them that way. Look at you go, Donnie. Mine are both on swing arms. That way they don't rest on the desktop. But they can't move much from where they are because just the way I put the shop together. I'll have to do a shop update just to show everybody what the shop looks like now. You know, still pictures are great, but videos really give you the feel of what somebody's space looks like. So those are in there. And the whole key to that is so that this window can open. For the time these buses were made, which is in the 60s, that was air conditioning. Both of us are just so fancy. We are. So just so I do not lose them, I'm pretty sure they're going to be used in this stage. Let me put those parts in there, especially the little black part in there. That thing is tiny. So now we've got these, and I remember watching when Dave was doing this. You have to request a live stream. I'll have to read the Discord chat later. I remember when Dave was doing this, it was one of these things of it. You kind of had to figure out how these went in there. So they show it face down like that. First, let me show you. They're slightly different shaped. This one is going to go from my perspective on the left. This one's going to go on the right. And the way it shows in the picture, if I'm looking at it right, is they'll be attached like that with the hinge bent. And that makes sense because once the screws are in there, then you can open the vent from the outside. So let me lay them in what looks like to me is the correct way. Well, that's interesting. Let me read this real quick. Feed the front edge through the slot. Okay. Oh, I see what they're saying. I'll show you guys too. So you can see there's a wider spot at the top where the hinge is going to go. So you need to feed the flap. Let me see if I can get it on camera. There's the flap. The flap needs to be fed through that wider spot. Just, let me get it through there and then I'll show it on camera. Almost looks like the hinge could come needs to come in from the other side first. Let's see why Dave had to work with this a little bit. Okay, there, popped in. So now it's in there like that. So it's in like that. On the back side, you can see the top of the hinge is up here, and it's falling out, but when the screws are in, it'll hold it in place. So let me get that first one. Those were red and, is it red?
Okay.
Yeah, there were 2 NM screws on each, and they're going to be red screws. And they are the smaller one. Okay, Donnie said, if I'm going to do a shop update, maybe he should do a living room corner update. You should, Donnie. Still trying to get Discord figured out. Discord's not bad. You know, it's really just type. You know, and then you hit the various different channels within the groups. For $1,500, Donnie, better have painted screws. I missed with that one. Get that hinge back in where it's supposed to be. See if I can get that screw back out first. There we go. The screw is out. Now I can get the hinge back up where it's supposed to be. Let me try this again. Get it threaded. And that's what I'm going to do with both of them. Both screws and then both flaps. Get them in place before I tighten them all the way down. So there is, if it will focus. It's not like in the red. Trust me, there's 2 screws in there. Don't scratch the screws with the screwdriver. Don't worry, Donnie, I won't. So let me put this flap through. And the flap is really, really close to the same size as or not the flap, but the hinge is really close to the same size as the hole.
I didn't know you went shopping. I'm sorry, Mom.
I wanted it. And I was just pissed off because he fucking ran away. He opened.
Oh,
Yes. He fucking opened the door.
is he back?
Yes. He opened the fucking door and left.
Where is he?
Outside.
And that's not fitting in there right. There we go. Yeah, I couldn't close. And of course the flap falls out. You know, maybe if I go from this side instead. Let me show you what I just did, guys. Trust me, that's an awful, it is. So what I just did is after pushing the flap through, and of course now it's not going to play nice, but after pushing the flap through and fighting with the hinged part just popped straight in from the outside. Okay. There's that one started. Close that flap. Get this one. It's in the hinge, but not into the metal yet. Damn it. Dog hair. This Samoyed, my grandson's Samoyed, leaks hair like nobody's business. That one's down. Hang on. Just a heads up, lower center screw on the hood, side window will probably catch the, hood bust. Okay. Yeah, I remember seeing that on your channel. Not positive I'm going to get that far today, but I will remember that. And if I get stuck on that point, I will go find one of your videos. Had to back that screw back out to get it the rest of the way in. I don't remember, Dave. Did you put oil in these screws? And let me close the chat so that I can actually be on screen. Because the cant of the left-hand side of the cab there, it makes it a little bit difficult to get any screws on this side. So let me switch real quick to the other camera so that you can actually see what I just did if it'll focus. I think it will actually. So put these 4 screws in so that these flaps will open. And the window opens as well. I really like that. Actual movable parts, just like on the bus itself. Now I will switch back. I need to set this up in OBS, like Todd said. Todd has his set up. That's what you're talking about. Okay, support the front grille assembly from behind as you attach it to the cabin. Take the grille assembly. This big, beautiful piece of the build. I love this thing. This is just so awesome. And it gets attached with 3 mm screws. There's only 2 in there. Yeah, but no oil used when putting in the windows. Yeah, it makes sense to me. I started using oil when I was working on the Enterprise, and Todd used to yell at me because I wasn't using oil. Just in case somebody out there in YouTube land or, later on, if some people are watching this and they don't see the chat, that's what I'm responding to right there from Dave. And I will tell you guys right now, if you like this build, I highly suggest you go and subscribe to DNS or DS Models and Vintage. Dave is an awesome model builder. He really is. I used to use OBS. We picked up Facebook told on me for what? What did I do? Did I swear? Used to use OBS. I still have it. I'm going to use it to be able to switch screens or cameras on the fly. But I really, really, especially since we have a paid subscription between a bunch of us, I really, really like the functionality of StreamYard. So I'm doing something here. Yeah, switching cameras. Oh, it told you that it told you that I'm live. You know what's funny is when I go in my email, it's going to tell me that I was live. And yeah, Donnie, I need to do that. I need to get it set up, especially since I'm not typing that much, and I'll get this thing set up to where I can do the switching like Todd does. Actually, Todd and you. Line 3 fixing positions. Top edge offset panel. Fixed in place with the 3 screws. Okay. It's just what it's saying is to support the grill assembly from behind, which instead of doing it the way that it shows in the picture where it's up on its side, I'm doing it with it laying down like this. Let's see which one I can get in here first. That one's threaded. Come on. You were very welcome, Dave. And Bluetooth keypad works great. The problem with Bluetooth is I don't have the Bluetooth one. I'm a cheap bastard. I bought the one that has a little extra dongle of its own. And Eric just woke back up. Come on. Okay. I'm tired of messing with the short screwdriver. Somebody's going to say, it's about time I got this thing out. Go ahead, Todd. I know you want to. I want to say this should be the right one. Exactly. And there you go, Todd. I'm not sure if I screwed up my PG rating earlier or not. But if not, thank you. You took care of it for me. So let me grab this and do like they said, support it from behind because I can see what they're talking about. But putting my thumb or my hand on the grill is not what I really want to do. Of course, what we need to do, just for fun, is get Eric doing a live stream and Todd yelling at him because he's yelled at me on live streams before because I'm doing something stupid with the Enterprise. We need to get it, Todd doing it just because it's fun when you yell at Eric because he doesn't pay attention. Still not a moderator on HDM. No, he went to sleep. What does Eric do all day? Eric has like rugrats that aren't at home all day. So he really doesn't have an excuse. Okay, so the LEDs from this harness, and I'm going to leave the harness together. Fit an LED from C2. That's that one. Oops. Not a good thing there, Thomas. But once you start lighting, the front lenses won't matter that much. Okay, so fit the LED cable bent slightly and blue. Shorter goes to the headlight reflector. Shorter one. Okay. I'm not sure what I'm missing here, but it says in the instructions that the shorter cable of these two goes to the headlight. Which one's the shorter one? Because they look like they're the same length. And it's probably that it's supposed to be a shorter one. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I don't have anything laying around. Awesome. That means Thomas 1, Carpet Monster 0. So one of these is supposed to go in here, and it's just going to be a push fit. It should be. What I'm doing is I'm using my thumbnails on the actual lens of the LED to push it down in. And the headlight one is very loose. And that's why it has the headlight one being taped down. Let me see if it says which one, 41M. Let me go back up here and make sure I grab the right one. Okay, 41M is these four. And what I'm going to have to do is a little bit of wire management later on. So that I don't have wires that are doing things that, getting pinched off. So I just bent those wires down. This is a long piece of tape right here, but that's okay. Bent those wires down. I'm going to do the same thing, except for the headlight is I'm going to bend it up. It shows it bent down in the picture, but not a big deal. And then the tape actually goes right over top of the reflector and holds the light in place. And I'm sure there will be something that comes in behind here and holds it in place. If not, I will glue it at a later time. May need cutting to fit. I think they kind of fit okay. Okay, so now this hinge, stay. I caught my glove on here. This hinge, which is going to hold the hood, will go on here. Where's that little bitty crank? That little crank goes up there. Okay, take the support bar, fit it to the back of the grill frame. Oh, sorry. I thought this was the part of the hinge. This goes all the way up to the front. I'm just looking. This Notch here is on the right. These two tabs are up towards the top. It's going to go on there. This notch here is for that screw that is going around. Do not pick it up that way. Wow. That screw right there, because I picked it up like that and I felt that flex something fierce and I was like, no. And that will be 2 red CM screws. Make sure I don't have any red CMs in here. 2 red CM screws from the outside are going to hold this part on. Those are the larger screws. I can get rid of the extension here. Very gently. Make sure that fits first. Through the front here. Dog hair. Okay, that one wasn't in the right spot, and I can see there's still dog hair on there, but there's no oil either, and the dog hair just fell in the oil. That's awesome. Very carefully. Come on, thread in there. There you go. Yes, I do talk to my models. Stay. The scary part is sometimes they respond. And the reason I keep talking about the dog hair. The Samoyed, my grandson's dog, has a thing called an undercoat. And the undercoat, it's funny, the dog's hair is at most 2 inches long, maybe 3 inches long in some places, except for the undercoat. I've seen undercoat hairs come out of that dog that are like 8 inches long. And so that support bar is now in place. I'm showing the wrong camera. Support bar is now in place across the front there. And there are the screws. Okay, so fix the place. Fit the peg with the handle. Fit the peg to the back of the grill frame. Wait, sorry. Fit peg on the handle here into the socket on top of the frame. Fix in place with the clip, which will allow it to move. And that comes from the inside. So these are going to get used this time around. And I don't remember who I said it to, but I had said to somebody, when you clean up your shop, what you do is you have a drawer right next to you with all the crap you use all the time. And that's what I just reached into. I've got files in there. I've got the X-Acto knives in there, and I've got tweezers in there. So this is going to go in here like that. Matter of fact, let me see if I can do this on camera. Let me switch. Why isn't Donnie here doing my camera work for me? So you can see the handle is right here. Whoops. I popped that lower edge of that window out. This is going to be interesting trying to do that with gloves. Oh, my hand is sweaty. That was close, right on the edge of the towel. Come on. They should really give us like 14 of these because I know people lose them. I'll do what I can to let you guys see, but I'm not going to be too concerned about that. I'm going to be more concerned about getting this little Hummer in place. I've got that stupid hair. Just sit on there. Nice. Damn hair was on the piece. I almost need my own old man goggles for this. Come on. Damn it. Now it's upside down. I think I may have missed you putting this piece on, Dave. Come on. Keep sticking to my finger. Yay! When it got on there, it just popped easy. So it's on there, and that handle is now free to move. Donnie is wearing supper. Okay. Leave it to the Brits to put the cab on the hood. Bonnet. Hey, Donnie. Hey, Eric. Thanks, Dave. I almost need a drink. Actually, I'm going to have a drink of water. I have a bunch of screws left over, and it's saying finished fuse. Oh, okay. Well, we're up to an hour and a half, and I did watch all the way through this next step, stage 42. I'm not doing that tonight. I've watched Dave do that. That one is going to take a while. I think it took Dave, who's done around 8 of these things. It took him, I want to say it was a full hour and a half or so, if I remember right, to get all of the parts put into this, because the next part is actually putting the cab together, the floor into the cab, and then the cab onto the chassis, and then running all the wires, and it's just a mess. Not a mess, but it's a long, drawn out process. So I'm going to call it for night, and I might, not positive when I'm going to get back on, might be as soon as tomorrow. Depends on how things go at work. But I am loving the fact that I'm now making headway on this again. Hey, I found the right camera. Oh, good Lord. Let me move this. That's why I have these things on arms, so that I can get them out of the way. So I really appreciate you guys stopping by. Lots of time for the next stage. I know. I saw that. That's why, it's, what is it, 6:38 here. I know it's probably coming up on 1 there over in the UK. So I'm gonna call it for tonight, but I will get back to it. I have missed working on the Routemaster. I love this bus. I love it so much. I actually bought a model of it as well. I've got the Revell 1/24 scale. So thanks for stopping by. If you like this content, if you've never been to the channel, and I know several of you have not, 12:38. See, Gordon? And that's why I do it. That's why I stream almost immediately after work. I actually had an hour and a half after I got off work to get everything set up. But if you like this content, like and subscribe. Come on over to Hobbytime Modelers on Facebook and on YouTube. There's a bunch of us that stream. We also have a Discord. Anybody is welcome. Enjoy having you guys come by. Enjoy having you guys come and watch the streams. We stream on Fridays. We try and stream on Sundays. We don't always make it, but have a good day. Have a good evening, whatever time it is in your part of the world. Take care of yourselves out there, and I will talk to you next time. Like I said, I might get really excited and might be as soon as tomorrow, but it will definitely be before Monday, maybe just this weekend. Have a great one, and thanks for stopping by.